Hey everybody, good morning. I just wanted to say thank you to our veterans. Can't thank you guys enough. My father was in the 82nd Airborne in Vietnam. My older brother retired from the Navy, and my other older brother was in the Air Force. Just, my first mentor in the faith. I shouldn't say my first, but one of the first as an adult was Chris Mullet. He's in the Marines. Just great people who've been in my life, who've served in our country. And I really appreciate you guys. This morning I want to make a video about a very cool analogy. I was reading a book, and the book said, let's compare a nursery to a graveyard. I thought, all right. He said, a nursery is wild. It's full of life, but it's wild. There's unlimited potential, but it's wild. And if you're not used to life and potential and a vividness to what's going on in this world, a nursery can overwhelm you. If you don't have kids and you walk in a nursery, it can blow you away. The amount of noise, the amount of action, the amount of energy going on in that little room. You're like, good Lord, this is overwhelming. And it very well can be. That's a very fair statement. On the other hand, we have a graveyard. Perfect order. Perfect structure. No questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts. Everything's in order. But of course, everything's dead. In any relationship you have, in any ministry you have, in any work situation you have, in anything you ever do in your entire life, if it involves humans, and if it involves you, it involves a human, there is going to be an element of disorder. There's going to be an element of wildness. Because as long as people are involved, there's an element of life. And life, by design, is not intended to be dead. It's not intended to be so amazingly ordered and so amazingly structured and so amazingly figured out, planned out, plotted out, that nothing exciting, nothing that produces or that proves life is ever involved. That is not the purpose of anything other than a graveyard. I want to ask you, if does your spiritual life resemble more of a graveyard or a nursery? Not your service in a church, or your, home life, or maybe your romantic life, or your work situation. I'm not asking about that. I'm talking about inside of you. Is it numb? Is it cold? Is it evenly spaced? Is it perfectly, distinctly ordered? Because if it is, I'll tell you something. You don't look like anybody in the Bible. All of those characters, all of those people had a wild, and the word I just keep getting in my spirit is vivid. Just a vivid spiritual life. We've come to where we worship tidiness in the spirit. We idolize order. And we run to the scripture that says, we do all these things in order and decency. And we absolutely do. That is scripture. We do all these things. The first part of it, the more important part of it, is that we do all the things. And the description of how we do them is in order and decency. If in your life you don't do all these things, you're not even following through on the first part. Oh, but I've got order and decency. The Bible didn't say just to have order and decency. It said to do all these things with order and decency. Don't hide behind half of scripture that keeps your spiritual life a graveyard whenever God is trying to open it up to be fruitful and multitudinous. Be fruitful and multiply. It's supposed to be bearing fruit. It's supposed to be alive. You are supposed to be alive. If you can predict everything that's going to happen in your day, and you can predict everything that's going to happen in your spiritual walk, then I'm telling you, you might have some dried up dead man's bones in there. Shake it off. Go implore the Lord. If you seek him, you'll find him. It's true every time. It's a promise. You knock, he'll open the door. Don't run from him. Be a nursery. Invite the wildness.